Good day, learners! Your TLE teachers for today. My name is Micca Ella Verueco.
Cyril Monique A. Abastra.
Arlene S. Martinez.
My name is Sofia Angelica E. Mendoza.
I am Lovely Grace Santos.
So, are you ready to listen and learn our interesting topic for today? Alright, very good. Get ready your self-learning module. Then, kindly cooperate to our discussion. Get your paper and pen. But before that, do you still remember the topic we discussed last time? Let's check it with this activity. The direction is the words below are jumbled. Figure out what word it is and write your answer on a separate piece of paper. Number 1. That is gauge, correct? Number 2. That is thread, correct? Number 3. That is stiletto, correct? Number 4. Pin cushion. Number 5. That is chenille, correct? Number 6. Tracing paper, correct? Number 7. Seaweed box, correct? Number 8. Thimble, correct? Number 9. Basket wave, number 10. Fabric. I think we proceed now on our lesson for today about the embroidery stitches. Our learning competency is create embroidered products with package. And now our learning objectives. At the end of this module, the learners are expected to meet the following learning outcomes. Number 1, identify the basic embroidery stitches. Next, number 2, determine the procedure of embroidery stitches and able to create or draw of the basic stitches. Before we start for our lesson proper, let's have a pre-test first. Get yourself a pen and a piece of paper to answer our pre-test to know if you are familiar to our new lesson. Direction. Read and understand each item carefully. Choose the letter that corresponds to your choice and write the letter on the separate sheet of paper. Number 1. This stitch is most often used to outline a design. A. Backstitch. B. Couching. C. Cross stitch. D. Running stitch. A. Backstitch. Number 2. One of the most basic stitches and is usually the first stitch learned by the beginner embroidery or sewing enthusiast. A. Backstitch. B. Couching. C. Cross stitch. Or D. Running stitch. D. Running stitch. Number 3. This stitch is formed by two crossing arms mainly used for outlining as borders or to fill an entire area. A. Backstitch. B. Couching. C. Cross stitch. D. Running stitch. C. Cross stitch. Number 4. The yarn which is stitched over another yarn, the laid yarn attached into the fabric is called couching yarn. A. Backstitch. B. Couching. C. Cross stitch. Or D. Running stitch. B. Couching. Number 5. It is a wider form of back stitch, ideal for decorative borders and buttons. A. Box stitch. B. Chevron stitch. C. Satin stitch. Or D. Stem stitch. D. Chevron stitch. 6. This stitch can be worked singly or in vertical or horizontal rows. A. Chevron stitch. B. Fly stitch. C. Satin stitch. Or D. Stem stitch. D. Fly stitch. Number 7. This stitch is worked in a circle to resemble the petals of a flower. A. Fly stitch. B. Feather stitch. C. Hem stitch. Or D. Lazy daisy chain stitch. Letter D. Lazy daisy chain stitch. A chain stitch is used to create an unusual outline. A. Feather stitch, B. Fly stitch, C. Lacy basic chain stitch, D. Twisted chain stitch. B. Twisted chain stitch. Number 9. This is used particularly for making stems and twigs. A. Coral stitch, B. Feather stitch, C. Fly stitch, or D. Twisted chain stitch. A. Coral stitch. Number 10. A couching stitch which has only one working yarn. A. Chevron stitch, B. Fishbone stitch, C. Romanian stitch, or D. Sabine stitch. C. Romanian stitch. To more familiarized to our lesson, let's have another activity. The direction. Write the name of the given tools and materials used in basic embroidery stitches. Write your answer on a separate paper. Number 1. Thread, correct. Number 2. Measuring tape, correct. Number 3. Scissor, correct. Number 4. Needle, correct. Number 5. Ruler, correct. Check your scores, learners. I hope you are interested now to our new lesson. There are various types of embroidery stitches which you can use when you do embroidery work for you to be able to gain more skills on this line. The following are some illustrations of embroidery. Now we will guide you and enjoy our lesson.
Backstitch. This stitch is most often used to online a design. This stitch also forms the baseline for the other embroidery stitches. This stitch can use for writing letters of your choice on fabric. It looks great with variegated thread patterns. Small cursive letters look neat and dainty when done in the backstitch. Couching. This stitch is considered useful especially for outlining or giving more weight to a single stitch line. Usually, 2 working yarns are used, the laid yarn and the couching yarn. The yarn which is stitched over the another yarn is the laid yarn, and the one who is attached to the fabric is called couching yarn. Commonly used for lettering purposes or even the flower embroidery designs. Cross stitch. This stitch is formed by 2. Crossing arms may be used for outlining as borders or to fill on the entire area. Cross stitching was traditionally used for decorating household items such as tablecloths, dishcloths, or table linens. French knot, a single detached stitch used primarily to fill in the design area. It is a popular stitch among the embroideries because it can be used to create an eyes on an embroidered face or the center of the flower. Mostly used as a fillings for the flower centers, for the tiny powdered patterns, or in everywhere when the effect of a single dot is required. Holbein stitch is also called a double running stitch, often used to outline black work embroidery. This stitch was first known as the Italian stitch. It became known as the Holbein stitch after Hans Holbein the Younger, a 16th century portrait painter best known for his paintings of Henry VIII and his children, almost all of whom are depicted wearing clothing decorated with a black work embroidery. And cross stitch is mostly used for works as a borders.
Herringbone stitch. It is an overlapping stitch popular in border making. This stitch can create a knitting crochet. Fishbone stitch. This is a kind of filling stitch which is ideal for making leaves or feathers. In a broader sense, it is regarded as a member of satin stitch family. Fishbone stitch is usually used to fill the leaves but is also suitable for stitching petals and feathers designs. Blanket and buttonhole stitch. The blanket stitch is basic, popular embroidery stitch that can be used to create an edging. Used as a surface embroidery stitch or to stitch elements in place on an embroidery project, while buttonhole stitches are mostly used for cutworks embroidery. Mostly use this as a border decorative designs. Romanian stitch, a couching stitch which has only one working yarn. This means that the yarn used as the laid yarn is also the yarn used for couching. It is also good for decorative. Chevron stitch. It is a wider form of backstitch ideal for decorative borders and bands. Mostly use this via border design or even like this.
Fly stitch, a single stitch with a loop that is similar to that of the feather stitch. This stitch can be used for borders or to fill in the design area. This stitch can be worked singly or in vertical or horizontal rows. commonly used to make V shapes. You can make them into Y shapes by making this stitch. Lazy daisy chain stitch. It is also called as detached chain stitch. This stitch is worked in a circle to resemble the petals of a flower. Commonly used to create simple embroidery flowers since it has loopy petal effect to it. Satin stitch. A solid filling stitch that is used to cover a design area with long string stitches work very close together. Mostly used to outline letters and work well for filling small areas and highlighting larger designs. Split stitch, a loose stitch catching on a thread or two of fabric. It is designed to be invisible from the right side. It is the stitching for securing hems. Mostly used by creating a lines, it may result like this. Stem stitch, basically an outline stitch. This stitch is open, used for the stems in floral design. This stitch creates a thin line and can be used to outline embroidered shapes, to form flower and plant stems, and a variety of other applications.
Crochet chain stitch. A chain stitch that is popularly used for making decorative borders. Its name derives from the resemblance of a rosebud. It is worked from right to left between double lines of a design area. In a row, rosette chain stitches are worked close together. The rosette chain stitch can be used for decorative straight and curved lines, bands, borders, and fillings, as well as for individual floral motifs. Feather stitch. A stitch with a loop and stitches evenly worked on both left and right sides of a design area. This stitch can be used liberally to make beautiful borders, horizontal or vertical fillings, or even designs with curves. Pekingese stitch. It is also known as the Chinese stitch. This stitch has box stitches as a base. Several Pekingese stitches can be used to outline or fill in design area, used in straight or scrolling lines, borders, and also for fillings. Bullion stitch or bullion knot. This stitch is a single, detached stitch that is used for filling in a design area. Rows of bullion stitches may also be used to outline a design. It is recommended that this stitch gives an embossed look. Twisted chain stitch. A chain stitch is used to create an unusual outline. This twist change decorative line stitch that's great for curved straight lines.
Running stitch, one of the most basic stitches and is usually the first stitch learned by the beginner embroidery or sewing enthusiast. This stitch can be worked in straight or curved lines or for assembly when finishing an embroidery project. Variations of the embroidery version of this stitch include the whip running stitch, laced running stitch, as well as a few dozen others. Running stitch is also the basic stitch used for darning stitches with the straight stitches arranged in patterned row. Mostly use this stitch in embroidering various articles like pillow covers, dresses, scarves, blankets, purses, lampshades, curtains, table mats, and bed covers. Coral stitch, a simple outline stitch marked by knots along stitch line. This is used particularly for making stems and twigs. Several rows of coral stitches can likewise be used to fill in design area, producing a remarkably different texture. Now we are done to our different kinds of embroidery stitches. To find how much you have learned, let us do the activity. Are you ready? Let's go! Directions. Fill in the blanks. Choose the correct answer inside the box. Number 1. A blank stitch that is popularly used for making decorative borders. Jane, correct. Pekingese stitch is also known as the black. Chinese stitch, correct. Basically, an outline stitch, the stitch is often used for the stems in floral design, correct. Number 4. Black is the kind of filling stitch which is ideal for making lips of feather. Fishbone, correct. Also called double running stitch, often used to outline backward black. Embroidery, correct. Number 6. Black formed by two crossing arms and may be used for outlining as borders or to fill an entire area. Cross stitch, correct. Number 7. blank stitch is used to create as unusual outline. Twisted, correct. Number 8. A wider form of blank, ideal decorative border and bonds. Backstitch, correct. 9 and 10. Blank hand stitch is kind of counted blank embroidery. Italian and thread, correct. On our next activity, we will make sure that you've already learned about basic embroidery stitches by working on it. Get ready. Direction: choose 2 basic embroidery stitches and perform the given task stated below. Prepare all the necessary materials prior to making your performance task. Materials: 1 soft and light weighted fabrics like cotton, long and soft. Wool are most suitable as these fabrics gather easily. If none, you may use old clothes and cut it in 10 cm and 6 cm size. You may also use bond paper if you still don't have any fabric at home. Cut it in the same size stated above. Number 2, needles. Number 3, spool of thread. Number 4, pin cushion. Number 5, sewing box. And number 6, scissors. Next activity, direction. Read the description about the running stitch. Fill in the blanks with appropriate word. Choose the correct word in provided box. One of the most basic of blank and is usually the first stitch learned by the beginner embroidery or sewing enthusiast. This stitch can be worked in a straight or blank lines or for assembly when finishing and blank project. Variations of the embroidery of this stitch include the blank, running stitch, laced running stitch, as well as few dozen other. Running stitch is also the basic stitch used for darning stitches with the blank stitches arranged in pattern in rows. Let's answer. Number 1, stitches. Number 2, curd. Number 3, embroidery. Number 4, width. Number 5, straight. I hope you got the perfect answer. Now we are done on our basic embroidery stitches. Now let's have a post test if you really understand our discussion. Direction. Read and understand each item carefully. Choose the letter that corresponds to your choice and write the letter on the separate sheet of paper. Number 1. This stitch is most often used to outline a design. A. Back stitch. Number 2. One of the most basic stitches and is usually the first stitch learned by the beginner embroidery or sewing enthusiast. B. Running stitch. Number 3. This stitch is formed by 2 crossing arms mainly used for outlining as borders or to fill an entire area. C. Cross stitch. Number 4. The yarn which is stitched over another yarn. The lead yarn attached it to the fabric is called couching yarn. B. Couching. Number 5. It is a wider form of back stitch, ideal for decorative borders and bonds. B. Chevron stitch. 6. This stitch can be worked singly or in vertical or horizontal rows. A. Chevron stitch. B. Fly stitch. C. Satin stitch. Or D. Stem stitch. B. Fly stitch. Number 7. This stitch is worked in a circle to resemble the petals of a flower. A. Fly stitch. B. Feather stitch. C. Hem stitch. Or D. Lazy basic chain stitch. Letter D. Lazy basic chain stitch. A chain stitch is used to create an unusual outline. A. Feather stitch. B. Fly stitch. C. Lazy basic chain stitch. D. Twisted chain stitch. D. Twisted chain stitch. Number 9. This is used particularly for making stems and twigs. A. Coral stitch. B. Feather stitch. C. Fly stitch. Or D. Twisted chain stitch. A. Coral stitch. Number 10. A couching stitch which has only one working yarn. A. Chevron stitch. B. Fishbone stitch. C. Romanian stitch. Or D. Satin stitch. C. Romanian stitch. Thank you for listening.